So here we have a new 2024 Genesis GV60. This one comes in the performance trim level in Savile silver. And then we do have obsidian black Napa leather interior. For the powertrain, we have a 160 kilowatt motor on each axle, made it to a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery, gets us a max range of 235 miles per charge. And just can't wait to check this thing out. As we get around to the front end here, we get these LED headlamps along with LED daytime running lights. It's kind of all like one big beam there. Love how they did that. Just a very, very nice looking car. Pretty much like all the other Genesis, so not surprised there. Now what is impressive is these wheels here. These are actually 21-inch alloy wheels, and I'm sure that has something to do with the lower range. And with this one being the performance model, I'm not really concerned about that. Most people probably won't be. But passive keyless entry on the front two doors. Over here, power window controls, power door locks. We have electronic child lock and rear window locks here. Memory seat functions here. Just hold either one to set that. Power mirror controls are here. You can pick a side and it actually lights up for either side. And you can adjust using the dial on the side, and then you can just click this middle button to fold in the mirrors. And those do auto dim, and you also have blind spot monitors in those. Get a Bang & Olufsen sound system, which I tested out. Phenomenal. No surprise there. We do get a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel, and then a very adjustable front driver's seat. So we have our leg support there, thigh support, all of that. And then we even have the ergo seat that we can get going as well. But a big shout out to Genesis of Cool Springs for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. I'm just gonna show the total price. $71,660 is what this sticker's for. But I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" in my driving position. So we do have the blinds back here, which is nice. And then three-stage heated outboard seats here as well. Let's go ahead and hop in here. So actually the room back here is pretty impressive in my opinion. Just for something that looks this small, I'm impressed with how much space I have back here. Much more than my old Model 3 I used to have. But seat back pockets are on both sides. Love the storage compartment down there that's netted. Tons of space there. 2 USB-C charge ports, and then we can adjust this seat from the back here if you want to. And then this middle seat folds down, bottle holders are here. But I want to discuss the difference in how you can set this rear seat up. So that's with the seat all the way up, and that's with it all the way back. So a huge difference in how you can adjust that seat. Let's go ahead and make our way towards the back. And at first I wasn't sure about the back end of these, but now that I'm seeing it in person, I love just the overall concept here. Like I said, the other Genesis vehicles are no different. They just look beautiful inside and out. Now I had to get some plastic off of this. It took me a long time. Let me say, these come from Korea, and they make sure that there's no opportunity for important stuff to get scratched up, because it took me a good 5-10 minutes to take all the plastic off the seats, the door panels, everything. But good space back here in my opinion. And then we have the integrated cargo shade here if we want to use that. But again, for such a small vehicle, at least that's just how it looks. That's the kind of presence it gives. I'm surprised with the amount of space you have. And honestly, now that I look at it, it's really not that small. It just, again, has that presence, so. But there's our charge port there. Now we do have DC fast charging capability, and we get that 800-volt system, so we can get up to 350 kilowatts in terms of the charge speed. And I like how that handle is too. It's nice and fancy. You don't have to push it or anything like that, and it just folds out and in seamlessly. Now, if you want to fold the seats down, pull up here, very easy to do. And then you have that available. And then you just want to hold that handle and then push up to get it back into place. And then to our front passenger seat, I love how it does this. So when you get in here, if you've moved the seat up at all, it'll scoot itself back. And there's that seat there. And this glove compartment is so cool. So most of the times you're used to the thing popping down, but as you can see, when I pull here, it just slides out like a tray. So I love how they did that. Now as we come back around to the front end, we don't have a traditional engine up here, so we're gonna see what's underneath. So basically just where the front motor is mounted. I do like that you can see a lot in here though, if you want to fill up your washer fluid or anything like that. But let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So leather wrap steering wheel here. Let's listen to this horn. So a pretty good sound. Over here to the navigation system, we do have AM, FM, XM, Bluetooth, wired CarPlay, and wired Android Auto with that. And then if you do want to type in a destination, pretty easy to do as well. And then you have different things that you can pull up, points of interest, things of that nature. You have a voice memo option. Climate controls can be pulled up there. Just a lot that you can do in the typical Genesis, what you'd expect there. Pretty much the same setup in terms of the radio. And then in here, you can mess with your vehicle settings for driver assistance. Go over here to the EV and you can set your maximum charge, whether you're DC fast charging or if you're at home. And then your sound, everything can be adjusted here again, just nice. Very easy to use. And then you can change your language here. You can change your units here. And then date and time, if you want to set that automatically, you can do that. Now backup camera's there. Guidelines do follow you as you turn the steering wheel, and you have that bird's eye view too. And down here we have our dual zone automatic climate controls. We can toggle the heat there. Auto, we can set that, adjust temperature, defrosters. And then for the fan speed, you just click there. And then you have your shortcuts down here for the map, navigation, media, favorites button there, setup, shortcut there. Hazards are here. I'm going to adjust the brightness so you can actually see that a little better. And then down here, we have two USB-C ports. One of them is for the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. The other one's just for charging. Then you have a 12 volt down in there. And then a little storage compartment there. Pretty interesting. And then there's a big pocket down there too. What I do like is underneath here, you also have, there's just tons of space here. You can put a purse here if you want to, or a small bag. And then you could have other stuff, that maybe some lotion or whatever in here. And then you have that hidden compartment there that most people wouldn't see anyway. Bottle holders are here. Now, this is your fingerprint sensor. Volume can be adjusted here, tune knob. And then you can actually click that to turn the audio source off, excuse me. And then you have shortcuts here for the home menu, back, and then you can use this to go through the radio if you want. This knob here, which is actually pretty easy to use. And then for the shifter, pull for drive, tap for neutral, pull all the way for reverse, press P for park. We do get 3-stage heated cool front seats, heated steering wheel toggle, automatic brake hold, hit this camera button. And you have that front camera there, parking sensors. And then we do have a wireless charging pad in here, storage there. And with the roof, it is a panoramic sunroof. And that just opens a shade there. Very interesting. But there's a look at the back seat from up here. It actually looks like it's kind of blocking the sun, but I think it's just where it's so cloudy outside. But I like how it closes. That's kind of growing on me. There are the lights there, very nice. Just a nice, elegant feeling here. Sunglasses holder. And what these are known for, I think, is the brushed aluminum throughout, and I'm feeling it, I really am. Now left side stalk here, blinkers. Now your high beams can be toggled there. And then when you're in auto mode, you can turn the auto high beams on there. Then you can turn all the lights off if you want to. And then over to the right side, we do have automatic wipers. So that's one time off, auto, low, high. And then we can adjust the auto sensitivity here. And then pull up here for that front wiper fluid. Now we can decide what kind of regenerative braking we want by using these paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. So I can decrease the sting there to just basically have it off, or I can almost make it a one pedal drive by turning that I pedal on here, maxing it out on this side. Now to the buttons here, we do have adaptive cruise, of course, smart cruise, so we can adjust the gap for that. We have the lane centering that we can toggle there. We can adjust the speed, and then we can set up a custom button that go along with the favorites button here, and it'll let you decide what you want when you hit the button right there. And then here we can adjust the gauge cluster there. Just a few settings, but volume can be adjusted here. We can go through our radio station presets or track list favorites there. And you can click that for mute, which is nice. Voice recognition, phone, and then if you hit this button here, we can go through our audio sources. Now these are pretty important. These control your drive modes, so eco, comfort, sport, and then you can hit this boost button that gives you kind of max power output when applicable. So I've tested it out already. It's pretty great. Then our heads-up display, if I can zoom in there, right there. Then our push button start, and a very cool key fob here. All the buttons on the side if you want to pull the car in or out of a parking spot that's tight. Just looks really nice. But next, let's go ahead and take this Genesis GV60 Performance out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this GV60 Performance, I love the steering wheel, and I kind of said that before, but just how everything is right in front of me. Drive modes, when I'm driving, I like to be able to have, I mean, the sports cars have this, the real sports cars, where you can just toggle a button here, because that's what's most important to you. It's just a driving experience of this car. And with this being a performance, it's nice to just be able to go through eco, comfort, get to sport mode, turn the boost on instantly, and not have to look through all of this here to find that. So just a very impressive setup here again. Because with Genesis pretty much being a luxury brand, it's just impressive that with this being the Performance GV60, this feels like a true performance vehicle in terms of where all the buttons are. But the ride quality, it's decent. Now, it is an EV, so it doesn't ride as well as probably a gas-powered Genesis. But I mean, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me that much, but I'm gonna test out the electrified G90 and then the electrified GV70, and I'll see how those compare to this. But it still feels luxurious. It just feels more like an electric BMW as opposed to, let's say, an electric Mercedes. So it's still more performance oriented than ride quality oriented. But the digital gauge is nice. I like in the sport mode how everything looks just sporty. But I'm definitely gonna see what it can do when I nail it getting on the interstate. So I'm gonna get on the interstate here and then give myself some space and nail it with the boost on. There's boost here. Gonna come around this corner. Here we go. Wow. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice. And what I like about this is, I mean, you have an all-wheel drive setup because you have an electric motor on each axle, but just how seamless it is. It's just like it didn't even feel the road, it just started going. So I have the smart cruise on now. Gonna put the gap back, lane centering on. So if you are taking maybe 20-30 mile road trips one way, it's nice to have this technology here. If you're gonna be doing mostly interstate driving or even some 4-lane highways, state highways, you can use that. But something like this for me, I think it's a great option. I do think 72 grand is steep. So I kind of want to compare the GV70 electrified as well as the bigger G-Class there. But I mean, it's so fun. It's a really fun car. Very easy to drive, very easy to maneuver overall. And the range isn't fantastic, but for this kind of power, I don't even care. Especially if I'm doing mostly just going to work or having something fun to drive that I just want to be electric. So I think there is a market for this. These are fun, these are cool. And I think Genesis has another one on their hands. So this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Genesis GV60 Performance.